Okay, continuing. I had to check something right quick. All right, so as I was saying about my seriousness, so I will be so serious that I will be defensive. I would take everything to heart. So maybe that's what it's saying. I would take everything to my heart. Everything everybody said, I just knew they was talking about me. I just knew they didn't like me. And then they'd be like, but that's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That's what you meant. So maybe that's what it means. And because my seriousness was so strong, it says your seriousness feeds your ego and keeps you away from God. Hey Siri. What does ego mean?
Ego means a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance.
The part of the mind. Hey Siri. What does ego mean?
Here's what I found from yourdictionary.com. Ego is defined as the view that a person has of himself.
Okay, let me put this one because there was another one. Your ego is your conscience.
That's a dirty nigga. What's wrong with that guy?
Is your conscious mind the part
Daddy! He fucking my sister! Dirty nigga!
the part of your, sorry about that if y'all heard that. My window is right by the street. Right here is the street. Part of your identity that you consider your quote self unquote. If you say someone has a big ego, then you are saying he is too full of himself. Oh wow. Well, I don't think I'm full of myself. But I thought you said you was coming home anyway, so I figured you were gonna come home, clean up, and then go home. Because I had already told you that I was at 152nd Street. So I thought you would be on your way here, on your way back, on your way to the hospital. But anyway. Hey Siri. What does ego mean?
Ego means a person's sense of self-esteem or self.
Okay, so this one is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. The part of the mind that meditates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. Wow. So now it's saying that my seriousness feeds my ego. So my ego got something to do with my self-esteem, a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. So that's the ego. So depending on how your self-esteem is, so my self-esteem was jacked up. So therefore, since it was jacked up, nobody couldn't say nothing. Everything that was said to me was negative to me. So they right, it keeps me away from God. And it makes me dull and dry. It feeds it fed, don't feed no more. It fed my ego and my self-esteem of self-importance, meaning that self-importance. That means that I was so hurt and so messed up by the things that people say or the things that I may have thought people said because of what I've went through. So my self-esteem is bad. My self-worth is bad. So when people said anything that triggered those pointers in me, I would go in. So now where I am, I really think I passed that. Because now where I am, maybe I have a too much godly ego. Because when people start talking about, talking against God, saying that, and when I say against God, not so much as God can't do this and God can't do that. They may say it on a DL, but what they bring out is that the people that taught me was wrong. So because the people that taught me was wrong, that means I'm wrong. So my ego is based on the fact of what I was taught. And since I know what I was taught was right and did work and is working for me, when somebody talks against that, my ego steps in and be like, you ain't gonna tell me that God can't do such and such, because I know he can, because I've experienced. May not have experienced the fact of you having, let me think of something that you can get cured from. Maybe not in the sense of you having diabetes, because I never had diabetes. But you got diabetes. But I had high blood pressure. And my pressure was high up there. And God brought it down. I had situations that took place right here in this house that I didn't know what was going on. And I felt like if God didn't step in, I didn't know what was going to happen. And he stepped in as soon as I prayed. As soon as I got the oil and put it on myself, wherever the spot was, he stepped in and he convened. So now you're going to come and try to tell me that, it's going to take time for God to do that. Yeah, it may take time because you got to get into the place where you believe that he can do it. But if I believe that he can do it, even if you don't believe he can do it, because of my faith in him, you would be healed. Where do you see such a thing in the Bible at? Read Acts, the 3rd chapter. Now Peter and John. Hold on, let me get that. Let me get that scripture. You know me, I gotta go to my Bible. I gotta go to the Word. They teaching me that in leadership class in my Bible school. So let's go to Acts 3. And if you can follow along with me, follow along. If not, just listen. So that you can understand, and you will understand, that you may not have enough faith to get things done in the spiritual level. But that pastor, that whomever that is connected to God and pray for you or pray with you and believes, God will deliver you based on their belief, based on their faith, and based on their relationship. See, when people come for prayer, they come for prayer sometimes not even believing that it will be done. But because they have faith in the person that's praying for them. And sometimes they don't even, some people come in and get prayer and whatever and don't even believe. But because of the faith and the relationship that the person has with God, God steps in and touches that person that's being prayed for, so that they will be able to see who God is. Why? Because they call for the purpose of God. I learned something. I was talking to my sister with that. Okay, so Acts 1. Nope. It's Acts 3 and 1. It says, now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer, being the 9th hour. Here we go. We're going to talk about faith in a perspective of the person that delivered the person that didn't have faith. Okay. And a certain man, lame from his mother's womb, was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple. What is the temple? The church, which is called Beautiful. So I guess the temple, yes. The temple was a church, like a synagogue. Wasn't the city like Brooklyn. It was the temple like you have the Pentecostal Rescue House of Prayer. So that was the name, or the type of building it was. So let's go on. Which is called Beautiful, to ask alms of them that entered into the temple. Alms is money. Help. Not your arm. Help. Look at that.